Hello, I'm Bunnery.
I'm Bread Mower.
And this is IFXtra. This is Grumbles.
Yeah.
So, what kind of week have you had? We've had a lovely summery week, haven't we? Beautiful weather.
I don't know. Have I been outside?
Yeah, you went outside. Yeah, we had a walk. We went to the lake on Thursday
yes.
night when Goose came round.
Yes.
I had a walk around the lake. It was beautiful. And they've got some new ducks, haven't they? They've got some new geese, actually. What were they? The grey lag geese. They've got grey lag geese now, yeah. And so what are those ducks? Not the golden eyes. They were the tufted. They got tufted ducks as well. Yeah, beautiful. They had such a nice time.
And they've got teenage swans.
Yeah, great big swans, but still all grey.
Well, no, they're sort
half
of like
white, half grey.
Yeah.
Camouflage swans.
That's cool. I didn't have to pick any up this time.
No, that was lucky. Yeah. Cool. Okay, what have you been up to this week, work-wise?
Bits of work, bits of interference, and after I've done this now, I'm going to get a bit more of interference. I've been doing some planning for the actual game part, which is, the complicated bit that I've been putting off dealing with. But yeah, so I've got some stuff sussed for that, so I might actually start on the drawing part of things.
Okay, what are you doing? Oh, it's claw time, is it? Hello, puppet. Hello, puppet. Hello, little puppet.
So I might actually start on the drawing part of things, which is the complicated bit that I've been putting off for a while. So yeah.
Cool.
Moving along.
Good progress.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Right, now it's time to go and see who won this week's awards. Picture week this week goes to Smacko for Mozart Eats a Burger. I just love this because I think Mozart would have actually loved burgers, and it looks just like him. Beautiful frilly cuffs. I love that. Well done, Smacko.
My favourite description this week was "The peasants calmly chase a banana thief" by Gaffuz. I love the idea that despite the crowd shouting and having torches and pitchforks, they're actually staying really calm whilst they're chasing this guy. Maybe it's like, he's getting away, very slowly. Nice work, Gaffuz.
Community pick of the week this week goes to Gored for Picasso's Pikachu. That is amazing, Gored. Wow, that is so Picasso-like. But you can still tell it's a Pikachu. Nice work. Well done, Gored, this week. They were amazing.
Awesome stuff there, as always.
Now we're going to see what we were talking about last week in the forums. So, last week in the forums, I said, what was your worst or most hated subject at school? I hated chemistry. I just couldn't cope with it. I was good at biology and I was good at physics, but, chemical equations, I just couldn't cope with them because I hated maths as well. Although I just scraped through maths, but I actually failed chemistry. So, yeah, I will never be a chemist. There we go. What was your favourite?
Well, I was terrible at music. I can play the cat piano, but that's about it. Yeah, I was really bad at music, but I think I've waffled about that the other week, so I won't do that again.
What's your favourite then?
Now, obviously, I'm probably meant to say
Computer.
like IT because I'm a computer scientist. I wasn't allowed to do a full A level of IT because there were only 4 of us that wanted to do it, so we got to do an AS level, which is like half an A level.
Oh, it's half. That's so unfair, isn't it?
And it was, it was good. I had a good teacher, and the only problem is it wasn't very challenging because it wasn't computer science. It was basically, this is how to do a spreadsheet. This is how to do a database.
Yeah, I did all that with librarianship.
Yeah, but at the time that was,
Magic.
Yeah, because this was in the 90s, But I think my favourite was physics because I had a really good physics teacher at A level.
Teachers, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
And he always managed to make things really interesting and engaging. And I've probably told this, but I've probably waffled about this before, but that's sort of like a meta thing. So he was really easy to get digressing on something because he'd be sort of trying to teach us about, I don't know, like momentum, let's say. And we got him sidetracked talking about this time he went on holiday with some friends in like his mate drove a Mini or something. There is a point to this, and he was saying about they went and they did all this stuff. Anyway, on the way back, the driver was like, he was a little bit of a boy racer, and he floored it down this hill, and then there was like, when you got to the bottom, there was like a little sort of humpback bridge that you that you had to go over, and this guy was like going full whack down it, and so they went down and then up this humpback bridge, but he was going so fast that the car just kind of like caught air or whatever you say,
Flew over.
rather than just sort of sticking to the road. It kind of went like that. So we're all here like, oh yeah, we're skiving off here, like for the last 15 minutes of the lesson, and we've got him off on a sidetrack, and then he turns around and draws it on the board. So he's like, so if you imagine that, let's just treat the car as an object, and it comes down here and that, and then the curve that we did when we went over this little humpback bridge, so we can calculate that. And yeah, it was actually just this big digression that was an example of what he was teaching us.
Momentum.
Yeah, in real life. And he was really good at that, because you'd think you'd got him telling some story, but it was actually stealth learning.
The best kind.
But yeah, he was he was awesome. Mr. Bagley, his name was. Yeah, really nice guy as well. Yeah, as you say, it's all about the teachers.
It is, really, yeah.
And sometimes you get someone who knows the subject, but they can't teach. But sometimes you get someone who they know what they're talking about, and they're hyped to share about
enthusiastic,
it.
yeah.
And that's the thing. It's I don't think it sort of matters so much what teaching qualification you have. It's if you have the enthusiasm to get other people enthusiastic about it.
Yeah, totally. Cool.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I'm going off on a thing, but
it's not waffle time.
It's not waffle time. We'll save that for tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Okay. Now we're going to see what we'll be doing next week in the forums.
Oh, sorry. No, I've been talking so long. We haven't even said what Muck Luck Canucks one was.
Oh, we haven't, have we?
Yeah. Muck Luck Canucks said a lot depended on the teacher. Yes, but one that stands out as difficult despite loving the teacher was 8th grade algebra. So that's around 14 years old. So what's that? It's a year before GCSE, isn't it? Yeah, okay. I was placed in the advanced maths class, but always felt like the stupidest person in there.
It's pretty good to be in advanced maths, blimey. I couldn't make beginners.
I got similar vibes there, because I ended up in set 1 maths, but I was probably the weakest person in the room.
Okay, yeah.
The problem being, I can't do arithmetic, but
you can understand higher
maths,
concepts.
yeah, it's just the numbers are the problem with me. They hadn't, invented dyscalculia back then, but looking back, I think I clearly have dyscalculia, because or dyscalculia, if you use the original name. I really struggle keeping numbers in my head. Like, I can't do mental arithmetic or anything. The concepts of everything, formulas, statistics, mechanics, whatever, not a problem.
Is a problem.
Differentiating, dv over dt, all this, like working out the rate of change and things, not a problem until you start slapping numbers in, and then like my brain just like. Anyway, I digress.
Okay, now why don't we go and see what we'll be doing next week in the forums? Let's change just one letter in a word and see how many different words we get in one chain. For example, I might start with fame, and the next person might change the M to a Z to make phase. Then the next one could change the F to make haze, and so on. I will start poll.
If you'd like to chime in with that, just head over to the Forum Games forum, and it's the pinned thread for the week. Also, just because I'm feeling guilty after talking about how awesome my A-level physics teacher was, I also had a really awesome A-level English teacher, Mrs. Hutchings, who got me really engaged in like Shakespeare and stuff like that.
Cool.
So she was also really, really awesome.
Cool. You had a very, very good all-round education then.
Yeah.
The arts and the sciences.
Yes.
Cool. Okay, now don't forget, tomorrow night is Zeitgeist Night. That's the quiz with 5 rounds of 5 different topics.
On Sundays at 7 p.m. UK time over on twitch.tv/interference, we run Zeitgeist, the Interference Quiz of the Week. It's a live interactive quiz stream where you play along, competing for points and places on the leaderboard. Each round is based on a drawing from Interference. Bunnery picks 5 drawings at a quarter eye and uses them as inspiration for the rounds. So, drawing of a seagull, let's have a round on seabirds, seaside resorts, things with wings, things that steal your chips, things I really need to come up with a new example for. Yeah.
We like the seabirds.
I know, yeah. It just rolls off the tongue, really, doesn't it? So we don't know what the topics and hence what the question's going to be until the night, but would you like to tease us with the names of the featured artists?
Okay, this week's famous artists are Mukluk Canuck, we already mentioned, Polish Hips Don't Lie, Gored, Invest in Avocados, and King Bushwick.
I feel like that would have been really good business advice a few years ago, at sort of peak hipsterness.
Yeah.
But, are people still really into avocados?
Well, people are very down on them as an eco thing because it takes so much water to get one avocado tree to fruit.
True.
Yeah, but
I
still like them.
I suppose maybe I just don't pay attention to them anymore because I can't eat them
now
true. Because of the sugar in them or whatever. Anyway, I digress again. Right, cool. So, Gored a very regular quizzer as well. So
King Bushwick, a very regular drawer.
Yes.
That's true.
But it's obviously it's awesome to see people in the chat when we're using their drawings.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that is what's happening tomorrow. But what happened last week?
Well, last week Ginny Pond won with 226, good score, followed by Goose, who was second with 223, and Dakesh was third with 201. So first and second, very close there.
So that's quite a high
scoring
one,
because it must have been easy.
The other week it was no one over 200.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, good
never
stuff.
Can tell what people know about.
So if you'd like to join in with that and see how you can do, you can join us tomorrow night, 7 p.m. UK on twitch.tv/interference. I should say as well, if I'm doing the maths right, and as we've said, numbers, I think tomorrow is the season finale of season 22.
It is, actually.
Episode 12. So as well as the leaderboards for the night, we'll also figure out who's done the best over the last 12 weeks of quizzing.
Wow,
yeah. And
cool.
then we'll have a week off, and then we'll be back with season 23.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Wow.
Exciting times. Okay, that's all the news for now. Just goes to say.
Yeah, if you're not already taking part in the game, then get involved. You can play on the web at playinterference.com or search for Interference in the App Store on your device and download the app. You can also join the chat with us over on Discord, playinterference.com/Discord. And if you'd like to give us some monthly support for ongoing maintenance of the game, building a new version of the app, of the website, the app, all these other things, want to do more quiz stuff as well, you can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/interference. Patrons get support status on Interference, so you get things like replays, you get extra game modes, all kinds of cool stuff like that. And if you're a quiz player, you get a custom entrance shout out from Ava.
Wow, that's the best bit. Okay, that's it for now. So we'll see you again next Saturday.
Yep, have a great week. We'll see you next Saturday.
Bye.
Bye.